The first major affordable housing bill in years just overwhelmingly passed in a bipartisan vote in the House and the Senate, and President Trump is expected to sign it into law. Just a short time ago, the House passed the 21st Century Road to Housing Act with a vote of 358 to 32, with 41 lawmakers not voting. The Senate passed this exact same bill last night with a vote of 85 to 5, with 10 senators not voting. Now, I actually told you this was coming and that this bill would likely pass in this video last week. And in case you missed that video, here's what this massive 380-page bill does. Of course, this is the bill that caps the number of single-family homes a large institutional investor can purchase, which I'm going to get into in a second because I know you guys care about that part. But there's another part of this bill that I haven't talked a lot about, and it's why supporters of it can call it an affordable housing bill. Of course, when it comes to housing, it's all about supply and demand. And as I've been reporting for years, we have a supply problem in this country that's causing home prices to skyrocket and making things unaffordable for most buyers. Some estimates say that we are short about 4 million homes. So Congress is trying to tackle that supply issue in this bill by cutting red tape when it comes to new construction, speeding up permitting to build new homes, promoting the building of more duplexes and triplexes and more manufactured homes, which are usually cheaper and faster to build, and reforming federal rules when it comes to rural housing developments, and creating new grant programs. And speaking of those grants, there's a new annual $200 million grant program for local governments that demonstrate that they are actually increasing their local housing supply. There's another grant program that helps local governments convert empty office buildings and vacant commercial buildings and underutilized industrial spaces into housing. And it also authorizes a new pilot program that gives grants and forgivable loans to homeowners for repairs and health and safety improvements to their homes. So the idea is fixing existing homes and making them livable is a cheaper and faster way to increase housing supply. And then, of course, there's the provision that most of you care about, and that's the part that prevents large institutional investors from owning single-family homes. The idea behind this is that investors are currently buying up all the single-family homes and then renting them out to people, which cuts off the supply of homes available for sale. Of course, there are a ton of exceptions to this rule for investors in this bill. The bill does not require them to sell any of the single-family homes that they currently own at the time the bill becomes a law, and it does not stop them from buying more single-family homes once this bill becomes law either. It just restricts what kinds of single-family homes they can buy, and it says that they cannot own more than 350 of them. If they own 349, that's cool, but 350, no go. And the reality is, that's still a lot of homes, and there's only a small group of investors that this specific provision would even apply to. So is it really going to fix the problem? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, a lot of you mentioned in my comment section last week that these investors will just get around this rule by starting up a new company so they can keep buying up 350 homes under new names. Well, this bill explicitly prohibits that. And if the government finds out the investor is doing that, this bill says the Treasury Department and the Attorney General can impose a civil penalty of up to $1 million per violation, or impose a fine 3 times the purchase price of the property involved, whichever is greater. The bill says all of these rules will go away 15 years after it takes effect unless Congress decides to extend them. Now, President Trump is expected to sign this bill into law tomorrow at a signing ceremony at the Capitol. And if you want to see how your House member or your senator voted on this bill, I'm going to email out the vote totals to you tonight in my Facts HQ email, which of course is free. So make sure you sign yourself up.